Tonight, we get a little bit of a late start, but we decided to come back because we were so excited to talk about Invincible for all mankind, but of course, we've got to rave about the Ray movie and the Acolyte! Yay! All this coming up right now on... Yeah. And welcome to your home for raving about the Ray movie and the Acolyte, the bestest Star Wars products ever. And you know, we'll talk about For All Mankind and GTA 6 and Invincible, but no, we gotta rave about Ray! Ray, guys! Your favorite Jedi ever! Ray Palpatine. No, she's Ray Skywalker. She murdered the Skywalkers and stole their name. Or, well, you know, made sure to help finish murdering them. Alright, there we go. So sorry for the late start tonight. We had some technical issues that I thought, well, we'll just cancel the show, and then I decided, no. So here we are, and it's working. The stream is holding. We're just on YouTube for this portion of the broadcast, but you know what? This portion's the best part to put on there. Oh, that's a huge label for my Taco Bell order on my cup. I didn't notice. Anyway, now first let's quickly go around the room. Gentlemen, John, how are you doing today?
Doing quite well, you know, just hanging out with Daddy Disney. I heard about Ray and the Acolyte, and I was just like, thanks, Disney Daddy.
Yes, exactly. Like, I am so excited. Like, I think it's time. It's time to face facts. Kathleen Kennedy, according to these other channels, is going to be president forever, and we just need to accept that the Acolyte, even though it's not on the official Star Wars timeline on the Star Wars website, it's time to just face the facts, guys. The Acolyte and the Ray movie are happening. They're here to stay.
I heard they spent like $100 million on the Acolyte already, so...
Yeah, actually, Stokely, did you actually read the official report? Did you actually see what's actually happening with the Acolyte? So John, well, usually I like to pass this off to Corione, but unfortunately, I think he's got a couple of other obligations real quick. He'll try to come back for a little bit, I hope. But yeah, so according to the official, you know, the official reports on our sources, if the Acolyte and the Ray movie are happening, then it's some kind of top secret project taking place in the United Kingdom. Otherwise,
I still think it's just a money laundering scheme.
See, the Acolyte's going to see the light of day in one of two ways. Like, yes, there may be production still going on for the Ray movie, and supposedly there is a new Jedi Order movie slated to release in 2027, which is a long time. 4 years in movie production speak, for those who don't know, that's like hit or miss. There is like zero guarantee. It's actually more likely your project may die if it's slated out to 4 years. Like, unless you're doing another style movie in the way of Lord of the Rings, where you're shooting your entire trilogy and your entire plot, 2025 or 2027 is a long way off to have a movie. You know, how many years have we been talking about the fourth J.J. Abrams versus Star Trek movie, you know? Exactly.
Oh, dude, I was thinking about The Brazilian Job, the sequel to The Italian Job from 1998.
It's just an untested hypothesis at this point. Like,
yeah. Now the thing is there's probably still contracts under work, and there's probably, you know, what will likely happen is yeah, there probably will be a completed Acolyte product of something, and then they'll show it, and then they'll.
There's that huge possibility that they did a Robert Downey Jr. style contract with Daisy Ridley, or not Daisy? Is it Daisy Ridley?
Daisy Ridley's Ray, yeah.
right.
Yeah, so there's a potential that they did some like Robert Downey Jr., some Chris Evans style contracts where they booked him out 6, 7, 8 movies out, knowing that the first 3 were gonna just rake in the money, and then they would have, you know, 4 or 5 others to slowly pawn them off. You know, exactly like they nailed it with Marvel. The way Robert Downey Jr. was gracefully mentor charactered out of the series, and wait.
Well, I think what they did with the
an 8-year contract and then forgot what to do with the last 2 years of the contract.
Right, and I think that's what happened with the sequel trilogy cast as a whole, was they were signed on to do at least those 2 follow-on films for sure, and then yeah,
that's why I say, like, they probably Marvel contracted them. They probably booked 6 movies. They probably booked 8 movies.
I don't think so.
Thinking that they were gonna. Well, just because that's when the first Star Wars came out, it was on the heels of Endgame. So like those 8 movie contracts were actually a genius deal for the big IP.
Except Rise of Suckwinker is what came out with the same year as Endgame.
Right, the first one, the fall.
What?
Force Awakens.
Force Awakens was 2015.
Right. So it's
so
right.
It would have been, yeah. It would have been after. It would have been after. Yeah. It was after the second Avengers movie. So yeah, I mean, this was like the center of. I think this is like middle of peak Marvel Cinematic Universes when Star Wars started.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. So that's when these contracts were originally, like, drafted. And now, obviously, since the 3 trilogy did not follow Marvel's success, they are, like, I think they did exactly what you're saying, Parker, but I think they're more doing it to, like, get out of their contracts. Like, no, we're going to work on that for 2027 release, and then we'll work on another one in 3032 release, and we're just going to pay you pennies on the dollar over the years that those all flop, because they all become tax write-offs.
Yeah, I think they only contracted the sequel trilogy stars through the first 3 films. I don't think they went beyond that because they didn't know how it was going to be. And then, of course, by the time we got to Rise, like, the Rise of Suckwinker is the first time I have gone to a Star Wars movie and didn't even, like, clap my hands once. Like, it's
crazy to think. Yeah, like, I watched it, like, the day after it hit theaters, right here in front of this computer, on one of the worst rips I have ever seen. And dude, that is still my movie experience for The Rise of Skywalker. I never watched it again.
I've only seen it the one time. Like it was like its own trilogy packed into its own movie that was supposed to fix all the mistakes of Ryan Johnson's, subverted expectation piece. And it did that, but it was like, why do I care if all I'm gonna... So I'll watch Farce Awakens, and it's a soft reboot of 4. Alright, you know what, at the time, that's somewhat forgivable. Lord Trinan writes in, Panda. Good to see you, Lord Trinan. Thank you for your patience. Glad you made it.
And if anybody wants to say, oh, well, you didn't experience it nah, screw that. There was actually one movie that I had a worse piracy. I'm a pirate. I live in Canada. I'm immune.
Yeah.
I'm immune to your piracy nonsense. For real. The Barbie movie was actually considerably worse than The Rise of Skywalker for the quality of the rip that I just absolutely needed to watch that day. And I loved it. So... doesn't matter. Good movie shine through.
I
yeah,
watched
exactly.
the release of all 3 of those movies, and I'm gonna be honest. I was drunk enough to love them.
Yeah. Lord Trinan says, every stream needs a panda. You know what, Lord Trinan? If you're going to be the one to add it to our stream, I agree with that. As long as it keeps you coming back here. Anyway, yeah, so it's just, not that I want to get too into the sequel trilogy, but it's like there was no plan there aside from, yeah, we're going to do 3 movies and then that's it. Like, that was the only plan that they all talked about.
There was 100% the arrogant idea that Star Wars fans loved trash.
Right.
Like, because George Lucas wasn't a known director, known quantity when he first released Star Wars, and he just wrote a basic hero's journey with a lot of awesome cinematography on top, with a world-changing amount of cinematography on top. Like, they all just assumed that the fans were basic, as if, like, that was all they had to do is just write a basic movie. And it was like, the first one didn't alert you that you were slipping on a slope. Like, South Park ripped an entire season off of how bad it was just a remake. Like, it was literally just a CGI improvement of the first one and then a retrograde in character development.
I couldn't believe how similar.
It doesn't make any sense. Like, literally, they were like, it's just the hero's journey, except we're going to leave out all of the parts where the hero is defined as
I
saw a clip recently. I saw a clip recently provided from somebody who goes by the name of Script Trooper, which, if you haven't checked out Script Trooper, I don't agree with everything Script Trooper puts out, but Script Trooper agrees with my right to disagree with them, and so I liked Script Trooper a lot. However, the one video that I was like in 100% agreement and just supportive of was showing the clip of Mark Hamill listing off, oh, okay, so she's an orphan in a desert planet, scavenging to get by, finds a droid that is the, key to saving everything, and, goes on an adventure. Oh, and she even gets my lightsaber, and it's like, how did we...
It's like, yeah, she did all of those things. And nothing else.
Nothing new.
That was literally her whole story. Because,
exactly. It was literally just copy and paste Luke, except make it less interesting.
You left out the part that gave me nightmares.
Make it lame.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Where the sand
make Luke a chick and make it lame.
Just attack him, right? You leave out the part where Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru just nuked for no reason or explanation. Dude, it took 8th grade level English for my teacher to use Star Wars: A New Hope as a teaching prop.
I didn't even get that till 10th grade. So your education was already past mine, that they got Star Wars to you sooner than later.
But then on top of that, all of the things that were used as like foreshadowing and exposition for years that I had just never paid attention to as a kid were actually used to demonstrate how important that is in the exposition phase of writing any movie. Whereas like J.J. Abrams' hero's journey was exactly all of the things Mark Hamill left off, minus all of the ebbs. There was all flow and no ebb. Like she just, oh no, she's lonely and sad. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no.
You need some
There was no oh no except for her saying oh no.
We need some
And
Empire Strikes Back in there.
Yeah, and she also knows the right thing to do and is good because that's just her nature.
How women
she's
are
powerful and good, and that's that. And yeah. So I imagine that's, you know, and that's what we're gonna get with the Rey movie. That is for sure happening. We have confirmed sources. Our sources are other YouTube channels, but they're sure that it's happening. So.
I'm excited.
I'm gonna kick up.
It's gonna be the bestest ever.
It's got the bestest Star Wars ever.
And day one.
Yeah, no, because Kathleen Kennedy, she is that meticulous supervillain who is so calculated that she has a secret production in the Lucasfilm UK taking place right now. Secret underground production to make new Star Wars with the Rey movie.
Make it lame.
And all you have to do is wait and do not wait. I've heard this plot before. Anyway, we'll continue that discussion on Friday. Yes. So aside from secret underground plots and fake Star Wars being made, we are still confident that our sources are still reporting true. There is no Acolyte. There is no Rey movie. There probably products that exist, but they're probably going to be tax write-offs. They will not see the public's light of day. You have a better chance of getting a clean copy of the Star Wars special than you do that. Lord Trinan writes in, everyone needs to stop talking in absolutes. Too much weird stuff is happening behind the scenes. Say, I think it's very likely to happen, but there's always the chance I'm wrong. No one does that. We do, actually. We don't. The reason why I'm more sure about the Acolyte is because it's not on the official Star Wars timeline on the official Star Wars website, whereas a lot of other High Republic stuff, even Old Republic and Knights of the Old Republic, which is my favorite Star Wars era, all that stuff is still on there, as well as the sequel trilogy. Now, the Rey movie stuff is still there, but that's at the end of the line. You know, we could still cut off the snake's head and grow a new head in a different direction. So, no, I won't say with a certainty that the Rey movie isn't happening. It's just, the sources of information that say it is, they're about as good as the ones that say it's not. And so, out of respect to our audience, Lord Trinan, we absolutely, we intend to maintain that status that, unless any of us have hard evidence to present, yes, we will still agree with the speculation train. And I wasn't assuming you were trying to take a swing at us. No, we appreciate being reminded to keep to our core values of honest, quality human content. So.
Oh no, dude, I took that as a swing.
Who do you think you are? Yeah, what? You think you just watch our channel and comment whatever you want? Because that's exactly what you can do. Just about, obviously. Nothing illegal, though, please. Piracy, unlike some people on it.
It's not illegal. I'm completely free and clear. I'm doing nothing wrong.
Where?
I'm in Canada.
There we go. Thank you. So
that's right.
We're on U.S. servers, so we gotta play by those stupid U.S. rules. That
Canada does not care about your shit at all. You have no power here.
And I respect that. We just have to remember to identify that you're in Canada, not the United States. If
I'm in Canada, I'm immune. I don't even use a VPN when I download my shit.
If I have this on the backdrop, it's and I say, we're all for pirate.
No. Yeah, I don't even use a VPN. Like
Parker's actually Pakistani.
Yeah.
My internet provider is obligated to send me an email about it, but honestly, they're like, Loki, don't worry about it, dude.
Exactly. So no, I wouldn't worry about it. But you know what? Everybody's talking about it, and of course, we do like getting that love from the algorithm when we can. So yeah. Any other pop culture news before we talk about Invincible?
Well, in the things that are actually in progress, despite all of the naysayers, GTA 6.
That is an excellent ball-tickling moment for our video game news segment coming up after Invincible, John.
It's Invincible? It's
what?
the freaking ad break?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Invincible is the ad break before the discussion. All right, now.
All right, I'm going to just drop that segue now. Now, Invincible was punched to death. GTA 6 is not a dead horse.
You really want to talk GTA? You really want to talk GTA 6
No, I'm just
right now?
working on
I mean,
segues.
I figured, we could do our pop culture, then we could do one of our shows, and then we could do our video game news, and then we could do the rest of our shows. And I thought, well, you know what, we'll sandwich things up and then give our show some actual news segments to break stuff up. Yeah. Plus, I mean, this Invincible episode was, boy, the one before it was also, boy, what a doozy. Like,
yeah,
Alan getting killed was not, sorry, spoilers, guys, but Alan getting killed was not on my bingo card. That's
I what 2 episodes to binge today, and I was like, yeah, no problem. Invincible, I'm gold, no problem. Watch it straight through. Like 10 minutes in, like I woke up like at like 6:20, and like Mark's all bloody in a pit. I'm like, oh, what just happened?
That's impressive that you fall asleep to Invincible. I'm like, this show, I've winced a lot with this one. Like, I've very much have been.
It's just like how much, if it's anything like this first showdown with Omni-Man, man alive, it's just like how much.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, when he's drifting through space and we find out where he's been the whole time, and oh my god. Wait, John, did you not watch it?
Wait, was there an episode 5?
No, 4.
That's what I thought.
5 is this week.
No, Alan dying. I don't think Alan is dead, because even though his like incubator was turned off, I think it was like turned off or like late. Like he had already started the regenerative process, and then the incubator was hyper.
Don't do that, man. Don't give me false hope. That's one of my favorite characters.
There was no. It was just turned off. So I think he's very debilitated, and he's going to take a lot longer. Like I think we're getting a Superman versus Doomsday post-fight recovery. So it's going to take a long time before Alan comes back to the fight. But at the same time, for Invincible and Omni-Man, I think Omni-Man is just going through it, man. Like, this dude has literally done this as many times as he's done it, but for like 2 in a row, he is just getting hit in the feels.
He's such a compelling character. I love Omni-Man. I really do.
Dude, to me, he's the most realistic Superman. Like, in terms of what does a superhero with a mission actually do?
It's like, well, you gotta understand where he's coming from, like who he is, exactly. The life he's lived, the indoctrination that he's been through. He's clearly got like emotions and like all this shit, right? Like there's a person in there, and it's just like,
to me, I think the craziest part is how many other planets have had the time to develop the same amount of media. And so, like, how many other planets have developed this much, like, movie content? You know? So I feel like he's lived even more lives in the one life that he lived on Earth, especially, like, assuming that there's a Superman.
You got to look at the big picture, Mark. Like,
yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, you probably should, you know. He's like, no, it's like, Mark, I don't know. But then I feel you, buddy, but goddamn, I don't know.
But when Mark finally goes toe to toe with the actual like Viltrumite warriors, not the scouts. And like for Omni-Man to actually have been holding back when he was fighting Mark. And
I
then-
knew. Omni-Man can fucking would decapitate him in a second. If he
Well,
wanted
not
to.
only would he decapitate him in a second, the difference in Mark realizing that like his unwillingness to kill is the difference.
Mark's a bitch compared to
Dude,
that.
dude, when he came back, oh
he
man,
just
he
learned how to
finally
do
just
this stuff.
clicked
Like
and started whipping. But the
Yeah.
way that Omni-Man killed the chick with the braid was just nuts. Oh man. I love this show. I love how grotesque it is because like finally Soup's acting super.
Yeah,
The show does not pull any punches.
No, no. Like I said, this second season is like it's just a firm backhand to the soul. Like the first season just had me going. Man,
I was
almost gotta
worried
turn
they
this
weren't going to
off,
be able
but
to carry it like with the same velocity.
Omni-Man basically going through a repeat of the same cycle, but you know much faster, and then you know actually feeling differently this time about the bug people over the humans. It was like. So he's actually learning and growing and recognizing that maybe the Viltrumites are wrong in their ridiculous, you know.
Well, dude, if
it's like if ancient Greece and Nazi Germany had a bastard baby. That's the Viltrumites. That's how I basically perceive it.
Yeah, it's literally the Spartans.
It's Spartans,
with
but
Superman
Nazis.
Power. Yeah, like literally, that's exactly what they would become.
Spartsies.
Spotsies.
Spotsies.
Fartsies.
But like to me, I think it's even crazier that like if he experiences time supposedly equal to humans, that whole scene where like I just mean in terms of like if space-time continuum is equal there, then that means that whole scene where he was at the event horizon of a black hole, like that was thousands of years for him.
Yeah, they're basically Spartan space Nazis. Is the Viltrumites' entire ideology and mentality? Like that's what I've concluded. Like it's they think that the weak shall perish under the strong, and it's like, well, that's
they're like we're the best. It's like
yeah. Oh,
that's
we're gonna conquer
technically
you.
true.
We're
huh?
conquering you whether
No,
you
it
want to be
is so
conquered
much
or
more
not.
we're the best.
Exactly. The Blitzkrieg. But, you know, it's also pulling the gray area punches with Omni-Man by going, oh, well, if you, you know, show them humanity and show them stuff, it's almost like somebody, even somebody as terrible as a Viltrumite can possibly churn and change their ways. And that's, you know, of course, going to ripple through the culture, which is why the Viltrumites want to kill Omni-Man, which, you know, you want to talk about who I don't think is dead. No, I don't think they're going to kill off Omni-Man. Like, oh, he'll be executed off screen. Come on. You're gonna pay for J.K. Simmons and then, you know, freaking off his character, you know, in between. That would be, that'd be low. But no, I agree, John. This is exactly what I thought The Boys was gonna be. And, you know, well, The Boys is kind of its own thing, doing its own sort of show. I do like that this one really does explore the what if possibility of, oh, well, what if Superman did think that he was...
It takes itself so much more seriously than The Boys.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's
Invincible is...
It still has its funny moments, even though it is more serious.
Oh, it takes itself deadly serious.
Yeah.
It's like...
Extremely serious. Huey is you, the viewer, just changing instantly because he decided to just join a CIA hit squad. Like, that's exactly how abrasive it would be. It's not nice. It's not fun. But those guys have been living it the whole time, so comedy is their only refuge. And I think that's what makes The Boys so great to me is because, like, I remember listening to the hard hitters, the ones that were, like, violent and actually saw violence. And they always tried to make everything funny, no matter how disturbing it was. And I think that, like, the difference is really that, like, it's the POV. Like Huey is a human being in a superhero world, and part of me thinks that if Omni-Man really existed in the same universe as
dude,
what's his name?
Homelander v Omni-Man.
Homelander v.
Don't
Omni-Man?
tempt me with a
Homelander's
good time.
dead in a second.
What?
Homelander shows up. Homelander dies faster than the Immortal. Like, are you kidding me?
I don't know.
But
I don't know.
What?
That could be a really cool fight, especially if you get J.K. Simmons to do it live action.
Oh no, dude, that's the coolest part. Is it happens in a second in reality, but they slow it down, and it's like 500 frames in that 1 second of hits. That would be so cool.
Like that scene in the Matrix 4, but it actually looks good, like it was supposed to.
Oh, dude, it's got to be like, or like Homelander's head just falls to the floor, and Omni-Man is standing next to him. But then you find out that somebody was recording it.
No, I think Homelander's way more powerful than the Immortal, bro. You got to remember, Homelander's got that laser vision bullshit, so.
Dude, no, but that's what I'm saying. It's Omni-Man's even better. Like, he's
but
just
Omni-Man doesn't shoot lasers from his eyes, though.
No, but Homelander's, like, Homelander showed fear when he fought his dad, Soldier Boy.
Oh, I didn't get that far.
Oh, good God, dude. It's so good. It's so good.
I saw the octopus on Aquaman, or
so
freaking
funny.
the
That
deep
dude's so
dog,
weird.
and I was like, this is like the dragon episode of Rick and Morty. I don't know.
That's the same fight. That's the episode where the fight goes down. And
of course it is. Of course it is. God, you're not selling me on this at the moment. We'll have to talk. We'll talk about the boys later. But before we,
but that to me, I think is the big difference. Is Invincible is Starlight's story joining the board.
Okay.
Right? Just the hero perspective, just the mostly glorious with, yeah, it is bloody. That's why they call us heroes. Like, we're not super for nothing.
Well, that's the other thing I did notice, too, was, like, unlike, the Justice League, which just says, oh, we got to move these civilians, and that's all you see. Invincible, actually, in the beginning, shows they're, not the Justice League, actually saving people to start, then they deal with the threat, and it's like, oh yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. Whereas, oh, you put on an episode of Justice League, oh, there's the bad guy, go kill them. Oh no, the civilians, what are we gonna do? Kill the bad guy faster. And that's
the funny thing. That goes back to the actual like rules of writing comic books, like the comic book code. Literally was like, you can't put normal people in too much harm, or that'll make kids want to put people in harm because they'll see that it's possible. And it's like, dude, you just doubt the like efficacy of people.
We actually do have a pseudo ad break though before we get to our video game news, because I know everybody is just eagerly wanting to talk about Grand Theft Auto 6. I know I am. Shout out to Relentlessly Relentless. If you're out there watching, buddy, you should pop on the stream and talk GTA 6. But Corione has advanced to the next round in the 2024 Cheer Choice Awards. So if you're watching and you have been helping with that, we appreciate it. What we're gonna do next, we'll figure that out shortly. But he has made it through the first round and is apparently in second place from what he described. Overall, so like we're doing a really great job, and so please guys,
let's get him to first.
And let's get him to Vegas so we can do our live show there, and we can get the Ryder brothers further on the map. We can keep spreading our message of honest quality human content, and of course, our mission of restoring respect into discourse. But yeah, that's Corione, of course, is had some other obligations come up since we thought the show wasn't going to happen tonight. We're very lucky that it is, and very happy that it is, of course, because there's just so much to discuss. So the day that all Grand Theft Auto fans, which I mean, let's be honest.
The
Every
day that never comes.
I think every single person who's ever touched a video game controller has at least played Grand Theft Auto once, and deep down, every gamer's a GTA fan.
GTA 2.
San Andreas was my, and 4 was actually my
Vice.
first game that I actually played the story on was GTA 4, and I haven't
GTA 3.
I haven't finished with 5 because, well, I don't wanna. So
First one I really got into was 3, but the one that tugs at my heart the most is Vice City.
well, Scogly, you must have just been ecstatic
Over the moon?
when you watch that trailer and you find out what town we're going back to.
They're playing Tom Petty. I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, of course we won't show the trailer on this stream because trailers are apparently copyright infringement. Sorry for the free advertisement and enthusiasm. But we will definitely talk about...
for playing a trailer of your game.
Yeah. Now, John and Scogly, if you guys would like to, pull up some screenshots or pauses of what your favorite parts were, that would be great. And if one of you could grab the screenshot, I think I shared in the Discord under games. No, I didn't share it there. Oh crap! Where did I put it in someone else's Discord? Whoops. But yeah, the picture that I was, the frame that I was, of course, most excited for was that shot of the game's version of the Florida Keys, mostly the overseas highway or whatever they're going to call it in game if they give it a nickname. But the details of what that drive looks like and what it's like over the air, I was like, that's it.
The sunset there.
Details of everything.
Oh yeah, it's spot on. Everything is accurate.
I'm just talking about the fact that it looked so real, but so
it's not just the realism, John. Like I was actually noticing buildings and locations that I was like, oh they've actually lifted those and just plopped those in the game.
Not only did they do that, they re-imaged them to make them not architecturally plagiarism. Like I was listening to this super long podcast today before. Shout out to the GTA 6 o'clock podcast. They're back. They were the GTA 5 o'clock podcast, but they're already on the mission to start mapping these places out based off of real images, but also comparing and contrasting to the original Vice City.
Yeah. If you want to go back there, Scogly, so that... Yeah, I've definitely... Well, not the prison area. Yeah, I've definitely driven in an area similar to that before. So that's definitely... It looks kind of like... What do you think that looks like, H. Marie? Kind of like Homestead, huh? Yeah. Yep, I've seen that before. That's also... Yep. I really love how this just feels like a TV show, too. It's like, oh, man, I almost want to go watch Burn Notice after watching this trailer, to be perfectly honest.
Dude, that's a good one. I honestly, watching this, for me, I legitimately just want to jump back into GTA Online again.
I just uninstalled it. I probably will after I finish Starfield, which, who knows, I might get back into that later.
Look at that. Look at these cars.
Dude, wait, hold on. Oh, no, I think that's still on the mainland area. But I was like, that almost looks like... So they definitely kept... I think they're calling it Key Big in this game or something along those... Or that's the working title, but they're... Yep, that's very similar to... I can't remember the name of the islands there up in Miami. But yeah, I think that's... Yeah, Miami Beach area is what that's... And that right there is what I saw, what I paused, what I screen capped and took, and I'm like, that's it. Everything there is accurate. Everything all the way up to the can I point stuff on the stream here? Yes, I can. The bridge being broken here. There's bridge segments of that for the old overseas highway that are like that. I think this is probably supposed to be the...
So apparently that's known as Old Train Bridge, and there was a movie scene that was like shot blowing it up a bunch of times.
Uh,
there's a
yeah,
lot
they-
of
Sounds
filmed,
like a country song.
They filmed True Lies on the Florida Keys. That's where they detonate the nuke in that scene.
no, this is a different movie. It was
okay.
I can't remember which one. This one, Game Ranks. They did a top 20 on it. No, but look at the
The scene
freaking
where Mom walks in the
shadows.
room.
The shadows are insane. If we did have sound and you played this, you would see that like they actually have musculature definition. Even on the gators, man.
Yeah.
When it moves, the shadow moves with each of the little like tokies on its back. This is just hilarious. Like there was this funny thing that the 6 o'clock guys were saying, and they were saying a lot about like people were worried that GTA was going to be inundated with the message. And like if you notice, the trailer is like,
the trailer
women
is
everywhere.
The trailer's just showing us Florida on a Tuesday afternoon. Like everything that's in here that's crazy. You're like, oh my gosh, it's crazy because it's a video game. Like, no, that's normal. This is like normal Florida behavior.
The 6 o'clock guys actually brought up the video that this is mocking. Like there's a Florida girl that was doing that shit. And like the 6 o'clock guys did a really, really long deep dive. And it's their third episode for GTA 6.
I missed that the first time. I'm gonna have to go through this whole thing again.
So we finally
but like according to them and according to pretty much everyone that's seen this trailer that's super into the GTA lore and inundated with the world, like it looks like an updated GTA. Like the world has grown with our world while simultaneously like
it's
still GTA.
I say this on our game streams, but I'm like the way I look at it, the way I talk about it is it's like Grand Theft Auto was supposedly the parody of real life, right? Well, the problem is I think that it's the other way around. I think Grand
Cops
Theft
arrest
Auto,
man who flipped his car after Pee-wee's Dine and Dash.
Yeah. I think GTA was just trying to tell us the truth while we were living in the illusion, in the parody the entire time. And it's like I'm watching this stuff on this game and I'm like, this is all I've already seen all this on social media. This is nothing this isn't entirely as new as you guys think. Oh yeah, there, see cops and a shootout again. This is just Tuesday afternoon in Florida. Probably Jackson.
Not only is it not new, all they're doing is showing that it is also still funny.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. I
mean,
yes,
you can be scared and yes, it's all wrong.
Like I get to be slightly more aggressive in this version of Florida than in the real Florida. So, you know, of course I'm excited.
The biggest difference is you're not going to bleed in this Florida. Like, yeah, your character's going to probably die a bunch of times.
Oh, definitely going to die a lot. Oh, hands down. All the crazy shit I'm going to be doing flying around the Florida Keys, of course.
But to me, I feel like that's what GTA has always really been. Is everybody that plays it and is willing to admit, they're like, yeah, no, obviously everything I'm doing is crime. But at the same time, like,
yeah.
Man, and I thought the wait for Force Awakens was bad. I saw that and I'm like, oh, so we have between 1.1 and 2 years to go. All right. Well, at least we have an end date on the horizon, and at least it's far enough out that, you know, we shouldn't see, early testing, we've just had to make the tough decision to push GTA 6 back to 2029, you know, it's just
the trailer's an absolute banger. The hype is strong.
Oh yeah, I mean that trailer's probably from like 5 builds ago, but by this point. But no, it's definitely It looks good. I'm excited. I really hope that there's seamless interconnectability between the GTA 6 online and the GTA 5 online, because really don't want to have to start over everything and rebuild from zero again. That would be a nice kick in the balls. That would I'd be like, well, I don't even get my submarine. I'm real excited to take my submarine to the Florida Keys, and now I don't get that. Oh, that'd be really lame. Because, you know, everybody shows up in their big-ass yachts and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I've got weapons, bitches.
I'm stoked to see, like, some leaks on what's going to be on the trailer.
Yeah, no, it
on
looks
the
great.
soundtrack. I mean,
Oh yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sure. I'm sure we'll have
Well,
plenty
dude,
of.
the fact that like Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre were in the most recent online DLCs, like it just goes to show that they've actually negotiated contracts with record studios and record labels, that they might be one of the game studios that can get this really integrated, especially the fact that they've got it on their online platform. That goes to show me that like they probably scored some major deals for this one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I wonder how much of online was testing for this game. Because like if they weren't using online to test for this game, what a
they're
mistake.
lunatics.
Yeah.
They need to fire their R&D team if that wasn't happening.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if you're not using your own resources to test, like because I've been hearing on the 6 o'clock guys that they have been talking about like the general possibilities because this game has been taking so long, and by the time it was finally like leak confirmed that they were working on it, the way they confirmed it is like, no, it's well into development. Like we've been working on it this
For like 5 years, like.
and that was like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So like what were they working on, especially if like Unreal 5 is brand new?
They
And
just
Gen
they
9
made
is still
how much money?
relatively-
What is the gross on GTA 5 online and whatnot at this point?
I
It's
think it's
absurd.
something like in total. I think it's somewhere around like 1 or 2 bill.
So like they're like, we're not messing this up.
Yeah.
No,
No,
For
I mean,
anything.
Red Dead didn't come close. The Red Dead Online just did not match.
They abandoned it.
Well,
Entirely.
that's partially because the player base kind of abandoned it too. Like it's
Right. It's
no.
because
I mean that there just weren't enough minimums of interest from the players to keep
being met
Yeah.
to put.
to keep
No, but, like,
resources into it. Like, and don't get me
that's
wrong, Red Dead
because-
Online is really cool, and it's a very immersive experience for that time period. But it's that's the downside.
It
Because
just
Red
doesn't.
Dead-
It's
Red
the
Dead
spectacle.
Redemption 2 is an immersive story in that time period. Red Dead Online is a grating, rough, realistic sim of that time period. Like, the rate to money ratio is insane. Like, that's the issue though, is in GTA Online, yeah, same. Unless you do one of the 5 heists.
But even
And then
then,
you
the
get your
heists don't
favorite
always.
part.
Even then, the heists don't always pay out either. Like between GTA and Red Dead, a lot of it is just doing chores, and then the payout
Oh,
is
it's fun. A ton, but the GTA world is bigger
right.
and faster
Exactly.
with more cars.
More spectacle.
more
Exactly.
fantasy.
Well, not even necessarily. I mean, a little bit more fantasy, but even then, it's just more.
A little,
travel.
John. You can fly around in a DeLorean. A little.
But,
It's more
like,
like a lot.
I don't really consider that more fantasy so much as like, yeah, it's exactly what I'd expect in a video game. Kind of disappointed that that's the first. And not to mention the speed throttle on that DeLorean pisses me off.
Man, that's the
I
one
quit
reason.
the game
Yeah,
sometimes
like
just
that's the reason why.
because it's so slow.
Actually, that's why I just typically would drive around in the Camaro at this point, because it's like, well, I miss having a Camaro, and that's the closest thing I got right now. But it's like, even though it's not as powerful as the Torador or as capable as the Torador, it's Camaro. So, and the other option is the slow ass Deluxo that it flies way slower than it should. Like, it doesn't have to be as fast as the
It's
flying bike, but it needs to be at least 100.
Lowest travel speed is flying.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be as fast as the flying bike. Like,
That's why.
Keep
So
this,
the trick,
let's keep
John,
it real.
if you do use the Deluxo, the trick is that you've gotta fly up.
You gotta jump a hover.
You've gotta fly
And
up, and then you've gotta
hover that
you gotta basically
angle.
have hover descent, because it'll be 100
Yeah.
miles an hour in the descent mode versus.
Oh, I'm aware. I've watched all the videos on it. I use the Avenger to travel. It's the fastest vehicle in the game.
Oh, I just use my Kozotka helicopter, but because that's the fastest helo in the game.
No,
but
the
I didn't know-
Avenger. gets side to side the fastest, it's also the worst to park.
I was gonna say, it's a giant osprey. Like, I imagine that's probably a pain. Like, don't get me wrong, I sometimes get my stupid little helicopter tangled up, but... Watsmata says, hey y'all, I caught you live this time. A little late. Did I miss Ray and the Acolyte discussion? Yes, you did, Watsmata, and, we actually started late anyway, so it's all good. We actually are, I think we still got about roughly an hour left to go on the show. So, yeah, we could probably go back to talk about Ray if there's enough interest. But otherwise, yes, we've talked about the fact that a lot of other channels are reporting it ad nauseum, and that the Ray movie's happening, and we just need to accept that Ray is the bestest ever, and that the new Jedi Order is going to lead us into the future. And that Kathleen Kennedy is secret Lucasfilm president forever, working on top secret productions in the United Kingdom, and you know, that's it. There's no stopping her now, and her vision of Star Wars is the correct vision, and we all need to realign our thought processes to making everything lame and putting chicks in it. Anyway, no, that's basically what Sparrow concluded, is that unless Kennedy has some super top secret UK development arms of Lucasfilm that no one else knows about, those productions are probably either, if they're happening because they're under contract, and that's really the crux of the argument, I guess you could say, is that they'll still happen, they'll still be finished, but then they'll probably be written off as
or if we're lucky, they just actually bring in quality writers and quality directors and fix a mistake. Like, it would be hard. There's a lot of problems to work with. But you could just do an entire episode of training montages. It's just each episode in between, just the training part where Ray actually had it hard.
But literally just put Eye of the Tiger on repeat for a whole 2 hours, and it'll be Ray doing training montages, and yes, that'll be the Ray movie. And
we just see this chick go from the worst to the best, and we're like, all right, I guess. Yeah. And then at least you get an I guess rather than a could you don't.
Yeah, I would say spend that money on time on fixing Ahsoka. Fixing Ahsoka? No, just do season 2 and improve on what we need to, and then let's just
make
do
it better.
We're also just gonna do and the Thrawn trilogy is definitely that's what sounds like is the rebooted Star Wars trilogy. Which honestly, that's the way to do it at this point. Get us a new, fresh Han, Luke, Leia, and Lando, and integrate the Rebels characters that are there, and let's just.
We don't need a reboot.
Huh? It's not a reboot.
We don't need a reboot. Exactly.
It's not a reboot.
What we really got is a stalled start.
That's
like
exactly.
Disney got a manual car for the first time ever. And, you know, they're really bad and really grinding the clutch.
That's exactly what it is. We just had 10 years of delay to get to the real stuff.
And mostly it's clearly because if you look at Jon Favreau, if you look at Filoni, you see that it is just writing by people that actually care about the IP. Like Disney, you can be dumb and wasteful and put angry people that don't like the IP or the fans, and you can waste $1 billion on that project, because at this point, what is it, $10 billion movies that have just flopped because you've put angry writers in charge of IP? Like, goodness gracious, guys, like, do that for their first movie on a $100,000 movie. And if it scores, well, okay. I didn't expect that, because obviously when you put them on the $1 billion project, you lost $1 billion+.
Yeah, and we also need to stop putting the writers on those projects that are, canon is just so hard to color in the lines, and I just need to, you just have to not care. And it's like, yeah, that's
then just go write something else about something else,
or do a new Star Wars story in a fresh era.
I don't care.
I love Knights of the Old Republic because it's so far detached from the originals and the prequels that they can still be their own Star Wars stories in their own eras, and nobody steps on anybody. It's not that hard.
But they also have full room to write trilogies and prequels and like all of that without stepping on anybody,
There's so much freedom.
without also eliminating the room for somebody to come in and sandwich in the middle a prequel and a trilogy and a trilogy.
Yep.
Like, that's how cool it is when you actually go far from the original line, just taking all the world elements. Like, that's the part you're supposed to steal. That's the part that, like, Peter Jackson nailed when he wrote The Lord of the Rings with the actual edits that weren't in the book. He took everything else that was the world and then was like, all right, I got to hack and slash a few things, but I'm still going to follow the rules to a T because the rules are what the fans love.
If anything, they're gonna pull the Star Trek route. They're gonna go into the future and they're like, we're gonna write the end.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, who wants that? Nobody's asking for you to come in and butcher the ending of my favorite show, season 8 of Game of Thrones.
That's true.
Like, you could just quit when you're ahead and be like, guys, we're going to eat the loss of all of this revenue because we don't want to butcher the taste in our fans' mouths.
Cheers, Captain
can also have
Infinity.
Kitty Flip says GTA 6 is coming, boys, and so am I. Well,
Word.
That's acceptable because it's GTA 6. So welcome in, everybody. Welcome to the stream. And if we want, of course, we're Watsmata showed up, so we're recapping our pop culture news from earlier. So I guess we could tie that into the GTA 6 stuff here shortly. But yeah, Watsmata, I think it's been 3 or 4 minutes. So basically, to recap, other channels are reporting that the Acolyte's happening, and you know what? That's it. That's our source has confirmed. It's done. The Acolyte and the Rey movie are coming. Rey is the bestest Jedi ever. Kathleen Kennedy is Lucasfilm president forever, and that's it. It's done. We're there. We're just gonna accept it now. Screw any actual rational thought or acknowledgement.
Yeah, they're like, you have information on who? Oh, okay. Yeah, we're good. We're good. Moving forward.
Exactly.
Everybody forget about it. You're the boss. Never mind.
So of course, Cameron Preshow doing his due diligence, reached out to Sparrow, and Sparrow said that unless Kathleen Kennedy has some top secret UK development arm of Lucasfilm that nobody has known about until just now, the Acolyte and Rey movie, they may be still going on. Corion did some research and said that there is a new Jedi Order movie planned for 2027, which is like, technically still 4 years out. Which, if you know anything about movie production, usually about 1 to 2 years is about that's pretty much for sure happening. 3 to 4 years is, well, yeah, we're running about a 50-50 that something may or may not happen. What we speculate is that contracts are still going on, so of course they have to finish making whatever product they can, and either show it and say, yeah, here's our, chopped up bits and pieces of the Rey movie or the Acolyte, and now we're gonna can the show for a tax write-off. That's likely why it's gonna finish.
It's what I've been saying. They could literally just write a Rey show. You could turn this into a 10-part series where half the parts are Force Awakens prequel, or 2 episodes are prequel, 2 episodes are post Force Awakens, 3 episodes are prequel to Skywalker Rises, where she actually does a ton of stuff with the Skywalker ghosts. Turns out Leia actually did a lot more training that we only catch the tiniest of glimpses of.
Tiniest of deep fake glimpses, yes.
To be honest, coolest way to see somebody just dilly-dallying in the Force. Like, I think that is such a dope way to play with the Force, is like doing all that circle stuff around you with the rocks. Like, that's such a quality demonstration of being at one with the universe, but at the same time, like, escalation, guys, you know? And that's what we're missing. So, like, you could, rather than doing one Rey movie where she isn't a part of the Skywalker saga, but she's going by Rey Skywalker, or a prequel where she's a child with no force powers. So just turn it into a 10-part miniseries. Boom. There's your fix. And you release it in chunks equal to the movies. So then you get people to go back and rewatch.
You know what I want? You know what I want for my Rey movie 10-part miniseries coming soon to Disney Plus in 2020 never. Is I want her talking about all the times she kicked ass in the sequel trilogy, and that's all I want to see is her talking about how great she is and all the times she knew to do the right thing, and that's just it. Like, all you have to do is be born a woman, and then you're good, and that's life, and that's what the Disney Wars trilogy teaches us. Is, you know, if you're born a man, sucks to be you. Anyway, and of course, I'll cap this off with, since Kitty Flip has brought the enthusiasm for GTA 6, yes, we went through the frames, our favorite frames of GTA 6. Kitty Flip, did you have a favorite part of GTA 6 trailer you'd like to talk about? Because mine was without a doubt that small glimpse of the bridges leading to the Florida Key, or through the Florida Keys. Because it also just, it looks so, like, right down to the, in between the sand barriers on the freeway. Like, even that is actual. It's all, it's like looking at a picture, looking at a postcard. I can't wait. I'll probably be back in Key West by the time the game comes out. I really hope so anyway. But either at the same time, it looks like a really good game. I look forward to playing it. I look forward to getting lost in that online world for a bit. And like I said, hope I get to bring my submarine over from GTA 5. You know, all y'all can have your fancy ass yachts. I got a sub, bitches.
I seriously hope that, like, there's a hub and I can actually take a flight or take my sub to Leonardo or
Watch what's going to happen is they'll put 747s back in, or 737s back in the game, right? And you have to fly on them. You have to buy a ticket to go to fly to Vice City, right? But you know what's going to happen is they're going to be live in the map. And so, of course, some idiot, will come by on their freaking broomstick Mark II and gun you down as you're transferring over servers. And then you have to respawn in Los Santos and try to fly again. But nope, they'll keep, shooting you down the whole time. Oh, and the limit transfers to online only. So you can't go to a private server and fly to Vice City. You have to do it in universe, and hopefully you don't get grieved. Now, I really hope that there is seamless transitional play between. Yes, I hope they keep both maps. I hope they add, the other maps that they wanted to add on GTA 5 anyway, like, Las Venturas and San Fierro. But until then, I'm excited to get Vice City back.
I hope they become maps, man. And I think that's what the GTA 6 o'clock guys seem to really be like hypothesizing based off of like their actual time studying this lore.
Yeah.
And like their whole podcast is devoted to GTA lore and GTA's like what could be coming.
Yep.
And in that essence, like they're saying that like the game that we are imagining is based off of our experience with games so far. Rockstar is notorious for writing the next benchmark. Like GTA 5 Online inspired all the other onlines.
Yeah.
And that's a huge thing to like remember when we think about what could be coming.
Yeah, my favorite aspect of the GTA 6 trailer was basically how all the social media posts were just, like I said, Florida on a Tuesday. Kitty Flip says, can we talk about how crazy it is that the GTA 6 trailer is set to get 100 million views in less than 2 days? I don't think it's crazy.
It's sitting at 96 million views right now.
that it's a day before its intended release due to a leak of its intended release.
Right.
And they just didn't want to make anybody watch the leak first.
Wow, Rockstar actually did something the fans wanted? What?
No, Rockstar
Are
was
they even
sorry
allowed to do
because
that?
it got pulled because it's Rockstar's house. They're giving it to us. It's their product. They want to release it on their schedule. Sure, we can be bitchy about it, but we're being childish. So, like, for them to be like, okay, this guy is going to ruin your experience, you know what? Fine. We'll make it better anyways. And then 100 million views?
Well, no, they still
impressive.
kicked me in the balls at the end of the trailer. Like, without a doubt, I was still very much like, really?
Again,
You
their
know,
product.
I know, I get where you're coming from, but I was just like, yeah, GTA 6, 2025. Oh, okay. Well, I guess, you know, at least we know it's happening, and at least we have a year that, you know, we can get close to, and then they can delay it again. So,
Feel free to bombard us with trailers and teasers and gameplay videos, though, Rockstar.
seriously, like
Only hook it up. Like, I don't even care if I get oversaturated with everything. I am
start
excited.
having your QA people just live stream their testing while they're working. Like, I don't think anyone's gonna care to have anything spoiled at this point, because we're all gonna play it. We're all gonna have our own, and if it's more choose your own adventure type like GTA 5 was anyway, then it's not like, I mean, there's only so much spoiling that can happen, because in the end, I'm gonna choose my own destiny. So.
Dude, that to me is actually one of the biggest things that I think they actually could have been teasing in the trailer that nobody's really been talking about.
Oh,
Is there's a theory that it's a Bonnie and Clyde story. Yeah. But to me, it's like if they really are taking off the 2020s hypothesis on how to be a civilized human being, the choose your own adventure aspect could begin at the actual beginning. And what we could have seen was a bunch of teasers for a bunch of beginnings. So like if you choose to be cisgender female, that's your story start. But if you don't, you get a different story start. And that like every teaser we get is basically the online game, but that's the storyline, which would be really cool because A, you can just keep giving us new characters and keep breaking the leaks in half, which would be nice. But then B, like, that sounds like a fun game. I want that. Like you said, Margaret, like I really do love the choose your own adventure. That's what I've always loved about GTA is I can choose to be the character that is most equal to my personality and then make them equal to my personality.
yeah. And Kitty Flip, like I said, I don't feel it's that crazy, mainly because I said in our initial video game news segment that we got 2 video game news segments. But you know what? We started late, so this show's doing whatever it wants tonight. So on our first part, I actually said that deep down, anyone who's ever touched a controller, any gamer that's actually touched a controller is a closet GTA fan. And so, yeah, it's getting 100 million views because while you know, there's so many different games to choose from, there's just certain intellectual properties that we'll always have. And GTA, in my opinion, is bigger than any of the games out there, including including like World of Warcraft and even StarCraft, mainly because there's no other. I don't think there's any other online game that pulls as much players as GTA right now.
I'm pretty sure GTA is like.
Its numbers are ridiculous, even when it's going through dead stuff.
It's.
But and
off
I mean,
the charts.
I hope they have enough servers ready for online when 6 drops.
I can't convince myself to do anything, but I still jump on every once in a while. That's how ridiculous that game is. Like, I don't play any other online hub like I played the GTA Online hub.
Yeah, number 4 on most watched Twitch games is where GTA is at. Followed by Fortnite and 3, League of Legends and 2. Whoa, wait, really? Shit. Crap. And then Just Chatting, which we're not just chatting right now on Twitch because we had to cut the... I just need some new hardware. So GTA 5, yeah, is streamed more than Grand Theft Auto, so that's pretty impressive. But yeah, so that's why 100 million isn't entirely as, because it's like everybody's, whether people love or hate GTA, they are ready for GTA. The Nerdporia Lifeform says, OMG, the Beatles are back together. I mean the bros. Thank you. Very high praise. I appreciate that, Brian. Go see Godzilla -1. I was actually going to shoot that one out. Yeah, that's, guys, I'm thinking for next Tuesday we need to talk about Godzilla -1. People are loving it. And then favorite Rockstar game is OG Red Dead Redemption. Nice. Katie Flip says, Elon Musk doesn't like GTA because he doesn't like crime, he says. Oh, well, isn't that just cute?
Well, dude, it's funny because, like, if you need an outlet, bro, GTA is where it's at. I mean,
earned.
It's so fun. Also,
Right.
did we recognize Word Wizard Captain Infinity's popcorn?
Yes, we
Like
did.
we did, but we did. All right.
He's probably still got us on in the background, probably screaming at everything you're saying because, oh, Pollo Supporters is an idiot. Anyway, Nerdporia Lifeform has asked for mod powers. I've granted you the basic version, basic bitch powers for now, with, room to grow if you're really interested. But yes, you have ascended to wrench status. Feel free to drop any links of what you feel like promoting, but please allude to what you're promoting. Oh, here's a link. Oh, that's lovely.
Please get rid of all the haters.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, get rid of Captain Infinity. No, I'm just kidding. Appreciate you, man. You're welcome to come on the show anytime. Just do the homework. Eddie Arndt says, what's up, guys? Just stopping by to say hi. Hope everyone's is doing well. Well, we had an hour late start due to technical issues, but there was so much to talk about between Invincible Season 2 being great, For All Mankind Season 4 being amazing, and of course, the GTA 6 trailer and Ray movie and Acolyte. So we didn't want to miss out on all of the SEO, or excuse me, shit. What am I trying to say? We don't want to miss out on what everybody else was talking about because we want to be like everybody else now. So that's what we did. But yeah, we've still less than an hour to go. I think what do we got? 50 minutes or so? No, 40 minutes left on this intended broadcast. And we still got DS9 and For All Mankind to discuss. Nerdporio Lifeorb says Super Mario greater than GTA. Well, it did come before GTA, but I don't know. We got the Mario open world universe still needs to
look, Mario's a great plumber experience, and I love being a plumber sometimes.
Right.
But
and that is the Pollo. Yeah, yes. The chick Zapatos. Tiny shoes or whatever. I don't know. All right, let's real quickly get into some Deep Space Nine because we have Deep Space Nine. Nerdpoil says I'm a mod on everybody's channels. I just make sure people are behaving. Well, thank you. I appreciate it, Nerdpoil. It's awesome to have your time and support. So DS9, we had the Sword of Kalis and Our Man Bashir. These two episodes.
I'm gonna run because the boy is getting unruly.
Oh,
I
okay.
thought I could last till 9, but I love you guys.
Yep.
Have a great night.
Thank you for your time, and we started late, so that's fine. All right, Skogly, it's just you and me to talk DS9. So you did watch the Sword of Kalis recently for this week?
I've seen it several times.
So you at least remember. Good. Because we still got some content to fill. And of course, anybody watching, if you'd like us to go over any of our past segments, pop culture news, video game news, we know that those are big hot button topics. And just because we've already talked about them on this stream, you know what? This stream didn't go like we planned, so we'll just we will gladly bring it up if you're interested. Otherwise, moving on. So here we are, DS9, the Sword of Kalis. So real quick before we get into these episodes, particularly this one this one specifically, pardon me while I redundantly repeat words redundantly. The Sword of Kalis and Our Man Bashir are two of the more lighthearted and just sort of fun episodes of Deep Space Nine that show the show's range, that it's not always super serious and we gotta do cerebral and think about stuff all the time and come up with diplomatic resolutions to everything. No, these are first of all, this one is all about Klingon lore building, which is great to have because, the Klingons are awesome, for one. And for two, it's nice to just get a break from the Federation and the usual Star Trek stuff. So, Yeah, Watsmata says, I never liked Dr. Bashir. Just a playa. And H. Bree says, Dr. Friendzone. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, sure, he gets some action, but ultimately, it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
Nerdporial Lifeform says, Torral, son of Duras, follow up to Redemption 2 and Blood Oath with the Dahar Master himself, Core. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, there is a lot of, like, there are some TNG episodes you definitely want to watch before watching this one. This is definitely one of those, as Nerdporial Lifeform said, it's a continuation of, it's a continuation of those episodes and those stories. So I'll go ahead and read the storyline. Kor, the Klingon Dahar Master and friend of Dax, is once again on the station. He hasn't lost his appetite for alcohol and is still capable of telling great tales. Dax introduces him to Worf, and Kor tells of the quest he is planning. He has found a clue to the possible location of the Sword of Kahless, the founder of the Klingon Empire. It's been lost for 1,000 years, and it is said when it is found, it will once again reunite the Klingon Empire. Worf and Kor seem to like each other because they are both opposed to Gowron. Together with Dax, they plan to find the relic and turn it over to the Emperor. The two Klingons make it a late celebration. Kor returns to his quarters in a very drunken state where he is attacked telepathically by a Lethian. Shout out to Ardu and Teal. A couple of the wordings there, a little rough, but it's whatever. So yeah, the Lethian shows up. And once again we get the Lethian, but instead of, putting Kor in a mental prison of his own, undoing, he just wants to find out where the Sword of Kahless is located so they can follow it. So Skogly, what said you've seen this episode several times. What did you think when you first saw it?
I really like the Klingon like lore. I find it really compelling and interesting, like more so than the how their society functions like right now. I really like when they look back at like the mythology and whatnot, and it's all true, and it's like, oh, it's just it's epic. It's epic. I really like the effect the sword has on all the Klingons that come in contact with it. It's like Lord of the Rings, right? They're just like, oh, I'm the as soon as they touch it, they think they're the chosen one. I really enjoyed this episode.
Watsmata says, okay, agreed that breaks the mood a little, or that he breaks the mood a little bit, and DS9 is pretty serious. Yep. Corporeal Lifeform says, Bashir is likable. Did Ron D. Moore write this one? No. Actually. The writers, according to IMDb, were Gene Roddenberry, Rick Berman, and Michael Piller.
Oh.
So, I guess that's... I didn't notice that. I guess Roddenberry had written some DS9 episodes before he passed, which... I mean, that's... I don't know, maybe this is something... I'd have to look into more...
There's probably... He's probably getting a writing credit because of written lore that they're using.
That's probably what it is. Yeah, you're right. That's probably... That makes sense, because... That's crazy that it would okay, did he write this story in Klingon lore and then have it, planned to come out? Because no, it says, according to this episode was written in an effort to more fully integrate the character of Worf into the Deep Space Nine world. All of the 4th season episodes to that date, with the exception of The Way of the Warrior, had been greenlit prior to the confirmation of Michael Dorn's arrival, and as such, Worf tended to be confined to the B stories of these episodes, if he even figured in them at all. The Sword of Kahless was the first show put together after Worf joined the cast, and as such, the producers felt it should focus on him. Wow, interesting. So yeah, you're probably right that it's the lore that they're referencing. That's why he gets a writing credit, because it's based on his stuff. But otherwise, it's Rick Berman and Michael Piller that primarily helmed this episode. And yeah, no, it's that's pretty good. Nerdporial Lifeform says, Gene Roddenberry died before DS9 came out. Yeah, exactly. That's why it's weird that he's got a writing credit. So unless it's to his lore, maybe he had some story arcs that they were going to pick up on later. I don't know. I know that he knew that DS9 was happening and was
Maybe it could be even something as simple as like the use of the core character, even.
Yeah. Or maybe they had some of his notes, and this was like a planned episode to find the Sword of Kalis in TNG, and then that didn't end up happening. I mean, that's
yeah. This could have been like the skeleton of an episode that was supposed to follow up Redemption Part 2 in TNG.
And then they just picked it up and integrated it into DS9. I mean, that's some pretty solid. I mean, the episode does make sense, and I didn't know that. This is the first, where Worf is in the A plot, because the rest of them up until that point where I didn't even catch that. So, Watsmata says the STTNG episode with the cloned Kalis, and where Worf goes to that prison camp. Is that the one episode? I'm a little hazy, but that was a good backstory. Yeah. So they actually. This follows that storyline that they want to get the sword to Kalis, the clone of Kalis, so that it can reunite the Empire. Problem is, in the process, Kor has this vision of bringing the sword, and there's like all kinds of glory, and he's going to end up leading the Empire instead of the clone, and he's going to defeat Gowron. And then Worf thinks that he's the one that's being prepared for greatness because he's in the Federation and he's gone through hardship and blah, blah.
That's how destiny works. The sword's in my hands right now. That's how it works, man. It's the sword of Kalis. I'm destined to rule the Empire.
Yeah. Nerporeal Lifeform says he didn't write, he gave his blessing as he died in 91. Yeah, exactly. So I don't know, like I said, if they're crediting
91.
Gene as a writer because of reference to his specific characters and lore, or if maybe this was originally a story arc that Gene had penned and left that they found and decided to make part of DS9. I don't know. Watswana says, I think you guys said Redemption 1 and 2, and that sounds right. Yeah, that's, I think the Redemption episode, I think that's the TNG DS9 crossover, too. And then Watswana says, you were all right, the ring bearer goes a little nuts. Exactly, and so what they end up doing is ejecting it out into deep space to float to the Delta Quadrant, where it is later picked up by, I think B'Elanna recovers it, and yeah, there's a whole bunch of Klingons that have been floating out in the Delta Quadrant for 100 years in an old-ass D7 that finally breaks down and dies. Literally, right as Voyager just happens to show up. Oh, what luck! oh, we were just out of gas. Okay, that does happen, but still.
Yeah, they decide that we're not ready for this, and this is just going to start a war.
Nerdporial says IMDb is crap, Wikipedia is more accurate. Boy, that's what a time we live in. All right,
Wikipedia has its issues, but honestly, in my experience, it's pretty good.
Well, let's compare notes of what Wikipedia says about Deep Space Niner compared to IMDb with regard to Season 2. If I can find Season 2. This was, or not Season 2, Season 4. I know what show I'm watching and where we're at. The Sword of Kalis, directed by LeVar Burton, story by Richard Dennis, and teleplay by Hans Beimler. Oh, okay, so IMDb is like wrong. Super wrong. So Hans Beimler, according to IMDb, is the person who wrote The Sword of Kalis. Or no, according to Wikipedia, excuse me. Wow, sad, but maybe true, Wiki versus IMDb. Well, it's looking likely, because now I may have to check a third source on the Sword of Kalis, or go back and watch the first, the opening, after the opening theme, so I can see the credits and confirm on the episode who's stamped there. Yeah, Wiki is pretty good for factual statistics, enumerations, dates, and all. Goes off the cliff for politics. IMDb, I think, was good once upon a time. Then they went political. Well, I mean, IMDb is what it is. I mostly just use search engine of choice to start and go from there and pick whichever one. So, with that, it's time to move to our man Bashir real quick, which was actually written by the creator of the show we will be talking about last, and that is, of course, Ronald D. Moore. Our man Bashir, okay, IMDb does have, for DS9, does have some of the best summaries, particularly because of this Arnold Teal individual writing them out. So, storyline for our man Bashir. Cisco, O'Brien, Dax, Worf, and Kira are coming back from a tiresome conference. Suddenly, there's a power surge in the warp core of the runabout. This doesn't happen every week. The ship's been sabotaged and it explodes. Eddington is only barely able to beam them off, but the shockwave damages the transporters. Their patterns are still in the system, though, and by trying to delete the station's memory, Eddington is able to store them. But where? Meanwhile, Dr. Bashir plays Secret Agent Bashir, Julian Bashir, in a holosuite. Excuse me, let me see. Meanwhile, Dr. Bashir plays Secret Agent Bashir, Julian Bashir, shaken not stead in a holosuite. He is surprised by the arrival of Garrick and finally allows him to join. Then suddenly, KGB agent Anastasia Kamanarov looks like Kira, while Bashir thinks it is another uninvited guest. The truth soon becomes clear. 5 crew members have become an integral part of the Holo adventure. With the safeties off, Bashir has to do his utter best to keep everyone alive while Eddington and Rom try to solve the problem. Shout out to Arno and Teal. That was a fantastic summary of, honestly, one of my favorite episodes of Star Trek. Mostly because, yes, it's campy, it's silly, it's everything that we love about Star Trek is what this our man Bashir is on display. And I know, Watsmata, you hate Bashir, and this episode's about him, so sorry. We'll try to keep the discussion to 5 minutes because we still gotta rave about For All Mankind, because holy crap, what an episode.
I like when they give Nana Visitor and like Colmini the reins to just like just go bonkers, right? And just no cares.
Absolutely. Real quick though, I'll catch up on Watsmata's feedback, or excuse me, fan mail. If I want to know what engine options were available on Honda Accord years 2003 to 2007, Wiki is the bomb.
Okay, so I've got the sort of K-less credit thing coming up here, and it is
You actually checked it. Nice.
Yeah, I did. I got it going here, and it is directed. It's teleplay by Hans Beimler, story by Richard Dennis, and it is directed by LeVar Burton.
All right, so Wiki is
That's
we have
official.
confirmed accuracy as to Wiki. IMDb is not. So thank you, Nerdporial Lifeform, for further enhancing the intelligence and accuracy of the Writer brothers this fine Tuesday evening.
Give LeVar the credit due.
Exactly. But our man Bashir, like I said, was teleplay by Ronald D. Moore, and this, like I said, this episode is one of the
fun.
it is you hit the nail on the head. The best part about this episode, you know, first of all, the concept and the plot and everything, it's all there, it's all believable, it's definitely, it makes sense. But this is where the actors, I think, get a little bit like overlooked, because this is where their actual range shines through, in that they have to portray characters that just look like them.
And you can tell they're having so much fun, and just the joy of it just comes through. And I'm a big fan of these episodes. Like, I like the mirror episodes too. I know people, I understand why people don't like it, but I like seeing the actors do their thing and have fun.
Well, and it's nice to see the show know when to have fun too. Like, yeah, it's like, oh my gosh, they're dying and their brain patterns are stored in the computer because there's so much, computing power needed to store just one brain. It all makes sense, and it's like, well, I hope I never, have to have my brain beamed to a computer in 2023, because I don't think it's gonna last long. So yeah, Watsmata says, lol, it is okay on Bashir. There is no sector of DS9 that should not be covered. Completely agree. Yeah. Oh yeah, this one, our man Bashir, also was apparently, according to IMDb, written by Gene Roddenberry, Rick Berman, and Michael Pillard. Nope, it was not. It was written by Ronald D. Moore. The story was by Robert Gillen, and directed by Winrick Colby, I guess. Never heard that name before, but hey, the episode was really good. Yeah, I like how in the process of this, this episode, we also have him playing up all the serious, all the spy tropes from your favorite, 007 feature or crazy spy movie. Nerdporial Lifeform says, Bashir greater than Bond. At this point, they should just make him Bond. There we go. Alexander Siddig for 007. Here's his audition tape.
There you go.
he'd probably actually do a really good job.
Yeah.
Because I actually do like him as Bashir. I think Bashir is a great character in
He
City.
grew a lot. I could see him being a little overbearing in the first season.
First couple of seasons, he's like,
First two
it's like,
seasons,
whoa.
he's-
And then
How old was he?
yeah, he
How
was young.
old is the character? Like 25?
Yeah, the character is super young. So, he's, Nerd Portal Lifeform says, Avery Brooks would have made a great Bond villain. Yeah, again, just watch this episode right there, our man Bashir, and it's there. So, Watsmata says, wow, I'm going to guess Gene mentioned a storyline or framed it out during or after Redemption 1 and 2, and somebody decided to throw him a credit in honor. That's exactly what I'm pretty much, in agreement with that. And then Nerd Portal Life says, I support that. Yeah, Bashir for 007. You know what? Let's have a little fun. Let's get you, the audience, involved with, let me switch users here, go to my superpower gold username, and let's get a poll going, because I would like to know. It's like what? Yeah, SIDDIG, I think is what he All right, there we go. There it is. There's our poll started for. Do you want Alexander's? Yeah, Bashir is 30 in season 3, I think. Yeah, whole birthday. That's right. He does turn 30 in season 3, and I remember that. I remember that episode, and I actually posted that clip from the show on my 30th birthday, and it's like, don't take it personally, Quark. He just turned 30.
Oh no.
I'm gonna be 33 next year. Fuck.
Oh, it gets worse.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a lot worse. It's a staggering drop off after 35.
It's all, after 25, it's like, it's basically every time I feel my birthday's coming around, I think of that Lonely Island song, and it's always happy birthday to the ground. Like, that's how I feel about it. It's like, it's an excuse to get drunk, throw a party, invite a bunch of
pass out in the sewer.
Exactly. Like, it's don't get me wrong, I don't mind throwing a party as an excuse to throw a party, especially since, my birthday is middle of April. It's like almost, we finally are transitioning into summertime, and everything's, coming back to life and whatnot, but we're not quite there yet. So of course my birthday kicks off the summer party, so to speak. At least that's how I want it to be going forward. We're gonna have a big Ryder Brothers bash every April 15th as soon as we can start affording it. So, Watsmata says 30 really sucked, 40 not so bad, 50 really sucked. Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that, Watsmata. I didn't realize you were so ahead on the game. Hopefully still far away from the end yet.
I imagine every milestone, 30 and 40 and 50, is just exponentially worse every time. It's probably like a factor of something like 10 every time, At 30, I was like, meh. And at 40, I was like, oh. Imagine 50 is going to be a little bit lower.
Nerporeal Lifeform says, I'm 39 now, still feel like a kid. Oh, dude, I pay my bills and I play video games. Like, I don't care. What I was promised for adulthood didn't come to fruition. Watsmata says, I'm 60. I've been through, 5 apocalypses, and I've been through my own personal turmoil. Mentally, I feel like I'm actually physically, because I got radial tunnel and Lyme disease, I definitely feel like I'm fast tracking my way to old manhood already. So you're among friends here, Watsmata.
I'm 43.
I honestly, I wouldn't have been able to tell. You look great for 43, and the exciting life you've lived already.
I look a lot younger if I don't have a gray beard, which this is like the last 2 years. It's just.
Oh yeah, no, me too. I would look a lot younger if I wasn't old. So. Yeah.
I'd look a lot younger if I wasn't old. Yeah, no, the gray in the beard really gives it away.
Yeah. Watsmata says, I was 6 months old when JFK was killed. Fortunately, I could prove my whereabouts at the time. Well, that's good. Jeez. That was, well, you know, that's a topic to get into on the Rogue Council, as well, or for Casual Free For All Friday. But yeah, so to conclude real quick, DS9's our man Bashir, one of the best episodes because it shows the range of the actors, and as Nerdporial Lifeform said perfectly, Avery Brooks is perfect Bond villain material.
I loved how they gave them different scenarios to do different things. Like the mirror thing, they're always the same characters, but with the holodeck, and then with the writer one, I forget what it was called. My brain's broken. Where Avery goes back and writes the science fiction story. Yeah, that was so good. I love those episodes.
Well, after 3 votes, and we'll leave the poll up, it looks like 3 people are for Alexander Siddig being the next Bond. And yeah, I think that's a great pick. He's definitely,
He's perfect. Yeah, absolutely.
He's definitely got the, all right. Now it's time to discuss what is currently my favorite show on television right now. And that is, created by one of the main writers of Deep Space Nine, Ronald D. Moore, For All Mankind. Now, if you have not started your journey on For All Mankind on Apple TV, you really need to.
The first couple episodes just kick the doors right open. It's great.
This show hits the ground running, and it does not stop. It has got so much heart and action and just all kinds of
left turns that you're like, oh, what?
You just don't see this show coming from a mile away. Unlike Kitty Flip from earlier, you don't see this show coming. It's good. And for the first time, of course, though, you want to know how good this show is? I literally started it just a couple of weeks ago, and this is the first time this week or I think 3 weeks ago now, actually. The first time this week I'm now suffering the fatigue and the anticipation of having to wait a whole week until a new episode. Not looking forward to the anger that's just going to ensue from when we get to the end of this season and have to wait an entire year for another season. Because
doesn't that suck when you get used to if a show like Invincible or something is on, you're watching it week by week. That's cool. It's fine. I really enjoy pacing that out too. But when you have it available to binge and then you don't, that's rough.
Yeah, it is. Watsmata says it's on Apple. Oof, I'm not in the Appleverse. We'll eventually migrate, I hope.
Do you by chance live in Canada? Of
all the streaming services, worth it. Worth every penny, in my opinion. But second of all, my phone, my cell provider actually pays for my bill. So if you have T-Mobile, consider having them pay for your Apple TV, and it doesn't cost anything extra to you. Otherwise, those are my only 2 suggestions: is either suck it up and pay for it, or get it through.
Follow Scogly's channel for a piracy primer. The Canadian way.
Certainly not endorsed by the U.S. or the Writer Brothers, but I just have to say that. Anyway.
It's gonna pirate.
I mean, I can't stop you, and I certainly won't, but I also can't agree with you on that either. Fucking stupid TOS rules.
I'm immune.
Yeah, I know you are, but I'm not. So every time you say, "Oh, I'm gonna pirate something,"
you're not gonna get no analytics from me. Not happening.
Watsmata says, "Ooh, unspoken things. I heard nothing." No. Scogly lives in Canada. Scogly doesn't have the same copyright bullshit laws that we do in the United States. Scogly can Scogly his way. The problem is, 1, I live here, and 2, we're also not just a US-based channel. I'm also on a US-based streaming platform that forbids the practice of piracy. Therefore, just for the sake of covering my own ass, anytime Scogly decides to brag, "Oh, I'll just download it," I have to say, the Writer Brothers does not endorse piracy. And that's it. But that's it. Do I agree with it? Do I disagree with it? The TOS
it's so
says I'm
bad
not
I don't
to
even
say.
have to use a VPN. It's you don't even have to use a VPN. It's
Oh, I don't either for the places that I've seen where I could watch stuff for free, so I know what websites to not go to.
Oh, that's risky.
Anyway, like I said, I unendorse that statement. Thank you, Watswada, for the support. We appreciate it. What the hell even happened in this episode again? I forgot. No, I remember there was some stuff that goes down, and by the end of it, I was like, no, I have to wait a week for the first time ever. It's so good.
Just make sure you have good antivirus software. The Scogli recommendation.
Yeah. So For All Mankind, which according to IMDb, stars looks like Sylvester Stallone, and written by George Lucas, and Anyway, no, they've got that information down. Yeah, 40 episodes planned. It's we got. Oh shit, we need a season 5 renewal. Renew For All Mankind. Damn it. Season
5. Or wrap up. I don't know. Wrap up season 4 with a really, really compelling ending. Something.
Yeah.
We need complete stories or stories that never end. And that stay good.
Yeah. So yeah, this was right. So in last week's episode, Margot ended up in Star City. And so this week we get to see her work at Star City, working with the Soviets. So that's probably my only real complaint. Like there's a lot of cool things that happen in this timeline that I really enjoy, because the Soviets get to the moon first. Who knows how that would play out. Let's see. Are we on For All Mankind now? Yes, Watsmata, we are. And so yes, I am IT. There are dumb IT and smart. I know. AV is covered. Exactly. So yeah, this show, well, maybe we don't need to get too much into the spoiler territory of it for this week, especially since it's just you and me. We can just talk about what...
I'm still in season 1 anyways. I'm like...
Oh!
Dude, I'm like, when you guys brought it up, I was 30 episodes behind.
I know. This was, well, for all the times I made you guys have to speed up and watch a show, I was like, all right, John really wants to cover this. I'm going to bite the bullet. I'm glad I did, because...
I'm going to get some good benders in, but,
So how far along are you then? Let's just talk about...
I've watched the first 2 episodes, and I am like completely on board with it. But I'm also gotten so far away from the binge method where I just kind of I watch an episode per week and whatever. So
that's exactly.
But I'm really enjoying it. I love you guys' enthusiasm, and I don't worry about spoilers with me.
Well, I don't need to get into it too much because, like I said, there's nobody else for me to really rave with at this point. So and yes, but the first couple of episodes, you're totally right, because I was like.
I'm sold on this show. It's great. Like,
yeah, there's only a small point of divergence, and I mean, there's even just a lot that takes place in that first episode. And those first 5 episodes, there's so much that the timeline does jump in episode 5 ahead a couple of years. So it doesn't linger too long.
Because it gives you the impression in the first couple episodes that this is gonna be a long burn. Right?
Yeah. The first season's gonna take place between 1969 and 1972. No.
No. So when you guys were like it jumps, I was like, oh, okay, good. I'm like, that really helps. With
there's a 2 or 3 year leap from episode 5 to episode 6, a 2-year leap from episode 5 to episode 6, and then there's about a 10-year leap, or so, between the end of season 1 and the way they hype up season 2. This season 1 does a very good job of not only being a very just solid powerhouse season in and of itself, but it also does a very good job of setting up season 2.
I forget what his name is now too. It's just my brain is broken. I really like the main character guy there, and that
Ed Baldwin, played by Joel Kinnaman.
The pilot,
yeah.
and his superior guy. Like, I watched True Blood. It was campy and silly sometimes, but I really enjoyed it. His boss was in True Blood, and I like that guy.
Oh, you're talking about
the sheriff. He was the sheriff in True Blood.
Yeah. Biopic Red Foreman.
Yeah, it sounds about right. He has that look.
Character's name?
I can't remember. I don't remember people's names. I don't remember my friends' names.
Yeah, the aesthetic for this, the aesthetic is on point throughout this show. They definitely it only starts to get disillusioning when you get to season 3. That's when, because they decided they try to like they try to force the tech boom to happen faster or sooner, but the problem is in doing so, the they still show like the 90s, era in 4:3, but then they have like everybody has like a flat screen TV. So it doesn't make any sense. You're like, wait, they have flat screens, but they're still broadcasting at 4:3, so they don't have HD yet, but they're talking on video phones, and so there's a lot of creative liberty. That's the thing with writing an alternate universe story, is if you pick a point of divergence as seemingly insignificant as the top Russian rocket physicist surviving his surgery, and have it snowball from there. It's kind of silly how the music of each time period still came out at the same time as our timeline, even though certain events
What
changed.
can you do, eh? Write new songs? I don't know.
I mean, it's kind of weird that the lyrics are the same, even though there's certain world events that didn't They should take an AI program and like take those songs and artists and like create new songs. Gotta create new ones
around different events.
Because if I put in "We Didn't Start the Fire" by Billy Joel, is it still gonna repeat all the?
We started the fire.
Yeah, we didn't start the. Talking about, it's still going to talk about events in that timeline that didn't happen but happened in ours,
What's Mata? True Blood. I'm about 4 or 5 episodes in. Just discovered this. It's great. I liked it. The last 2 seasons are bonkers, but they're fun. Whatever.
Yeah.
I liked it. I liked the fairy stuff. I liked the. It was good. I liked it. What's his name? Northman. His whole history and his maker with Godric and stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah. Well, I'd have to consider looking into it myself, but yeah, man. I mean, I definitely would try to do like 1 or 2 episodes a night if you can, at least, because there is a lot that goes on, but it just, that first season, those first couple of seasons, I think were definitely the season 2 is definitely the high point for me. Not that season 3 is bad. I don't know. Maybe it's because they were working in the 80s, and it felt, like, I don't know. I felt like we could have done 2 seasons in the 80s if we really wanted to. But I guess Ronald D. Moore wanted to stick to his formula of a new era per season, and so now season 4 is doing the early 2000s, with the Soviet Union still around, which I'm like, there's some things in that timeline I like. I like the whole going to Mars, and I like the whole, deep space exploration continuing, but the Soviet Union's still around. Oh, well, yeah. There's definitely a few songs that probably didn't get written. I mean, I'm pretty sure Pink Floyd's The Wall, for example, would probably come out a little differently. The Wall never came down. Well, I know that song was written before. It was written in the 70s, but again, there's still like these cultural influences, I'm pretty sure, would have impacted some of those songs, and yet they didn't. So.
Yeah, it's one of those things you just gotta reasonably accept. You're like, that'd be what could you possibly do?
Yeah, Watsmana says, "Oh yeah, I'm in. Just 1,000 things on my plate, but good to hear." Yeah, I totally understand what you mean. Like there's still other shows that I eventually want to work on and get caught up. But
the list is long.
But I think for next week, we'll stay on top of Invincible and For All Mankind. But I think we're gonna have to do Godzilla -1. I mean, if we can catch it before it leaves, I guess it's leaving the U.S. theaters on the 7th. So
I'm gonna host a watch party.
I don't know anything about that. Yeah. Watsmata says, so did the USA win in 1980 gold in hockey? I don't think they actually touched the Miracle on Ice, now that you mentioned it. Or did it happen? I don't remember. I'd have to look at it, because they have... So each season, after season 1, starts with a montage of alternate universe events to set the tone. So... Watsmata says, I gotta watch the Godzilla movie. Yeah, I apparently do too. Nerdporial was raving about it earlier. He's been raving about it. Everybody's been talking about how it's...
Chris Gore was raving about it.
Yeah, everybody. I haven't heard a bad thing about Godzilla Minus One. So.
I think the general consensus online is it is the best Godzilla movie ever.
Well, I love the 2014 Godzilla movie, so I'm down to give it a try. So yeah, I think we'll have that on top of our Invincible and For All Mankind and maybe Star Trek. Well, actually, I think we'll take a break from Star Trek if we're doing a movie. And of course, pop culture and video game news as well. And then on the 19th, that will be our last broadcast for the year. I think we're going to do. We're for sure going to do Violent Night. That is available on Prime for free. And I think we got to think of a couple of other Christmas movies we should cover, since that's basically going to be our Christmas broadcast, and then we're off for 2 weeks and back on up and running into the new year on January 9th. But H. Marie had something to contribute. Oh, the miracle on ice never happened. So that clip from The Simpsons with Marge imagining herself reporting, "Yeah, this is Marge Simpson live, where the miracle on ice never happened." He decided to make that reality. That's great. So yeah, no miracle on ice. Watsmata says, I'm a Doomcock guy. He absolutely raved on it. Oh, good.
Show.
Nice to have. Good. I'm glad we can have.
I like Doomcocks. So they were talking about the most important thing in a kaiju movie. Okay, you paying attention? Show me the kaiju.
You can't even show me the kaiju. Ah!
Well, good. I'm glad there's something good that YouTubers can all, rave about and get along with.
Funny.
So, Watsmata says, not everybody is a Doomcock guy, and not everybody is a the Writer Brothers guy either, and that's perfectly fine. However,
I like a lot of what Doomcock has to offer.
Yeah, we definitely don't see eye to eye on certain things, but you know what? I can't have this banner and hold it against him, so I don't. There's people that'll probably like him better and be better suited that find him through us, and that is perfectly fine.
He's a charming fella.
I'm interested in helping everybody find the YouTubers and the audience that's right for them, and that's why we're happy to we don't discriminate against people here. Everybody has their reasons for liking stuff. That's the thing. We can't be about restoring respect into discourse if we can't acknowledge and respect that people have different tastes for different reasons. And unless anybody's actually killing each other, we all need to calm down. So, Watsmata says, same here. I don't agree on everything. He hated Guardians 3. Guardians of the
3 was
Galaxy
alright.
3.
It's alright. It was pretty fucking okay.
I liked it better than the second one. I think all three of those movies are very top tier. Some of the best that Marvel has had to offer. Definitely not as good as Loki, but it's Loki was without a doubt one of the best things that Disney somehow managed to pull out of their ass. Shit, I could just change the topic and talk about Loki for the last 10 minutes, but yeah, Watsmata agrees, says, yeah, it was okay. I thought that the message and the overall theme of the movie was very good, very pro-life, like extremely pro-life down to the animals that they needed to save. So it was nice to see that in a Hollywood film, saving a bunch of kids, saving a bunch of animals.
This is like the Star Wars one where they have this big side mission where they go and they save all these animals with the slave children, whatever. It's like, well.
Yeah, see,
why don't you save the slave children?
See, but they actually, right, exactly. See, whereas Last Jedi or Last Subversion of Expectations or Last Brain Cell, whatever you want to put on it, whereas that movie, does that and does it bad, Guardians 3 actually, made it.
All the slave children are like, yay!
Yeah.
They saved the animals.
Exactly.
I'll go back to shoveling shit, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they let the animals loose and run free, but no, I guess I gotta, use my force powers to force clean everything, whatever. God, that movie sucked.
Bizarre. What a bizarre choice.
Yeah. Watsmata says Loki should go on your list for some night down the road. Actually, Watsmata, good to know that you've asked about that. I'll just start uploading the long form, or I'll start uploading our Loki discussions as long form content. If you missed that, that's fine. I'm just gonna start being that YouTuber that just recycles their live streams for long form because, well, that's apparently the strategy to do. But also, it's a better way to archive our segments because I had this crazy idea, right? That if I put chapters on my live streams, people would go back and find what they... No, that doesn't work that way. No, you've got to have it organized, and the best way to do that is to just chop up your live streams in a long form and put them in playlists.
In a
so that
playlist.
People can go back and watch your episode discussions through, and if they want to watch the live stream, you put the link in the video for that. So
It's like...
noted, Watsmata, you like Loki. I'll put that up along with Silo this week.
I listen to stuff at work all the time, and I'll tell you what, if your stuff is not at least 20 minutes long, it has to be in a playlist, or else it's a deal breaker, and I'm not going to listen to it.
Watsmata says, "Lol, I see. Yes, I can look back a bit. Bad on mine because I didn't catch every episode. No, not at all. Not at all. Our stuff is here for you guys, and I'm actually very happy that you are enthused about Loki, and that I can say, hey, here it is. Actually, that gives me a reason to do some long-form content after the show tonight. So, yeah, actually, I could probably just start episode 1 this week and then, continue the Silo stuff. But anyway, but yeah, Loki, shit. Skogly, do you have anything to anybody that you would like to shout out or promote today? Any links you want to throw in the chat? We'll go ahead and close our Bashir for 007 poll. It looks like 5 votes. 5 people are 100% in favor of Alexander Siddig as 007 for the next Bond.
I don't even think I'm a moderator on this channel. Let me check. No, I'm not.
No?
I don't have link privileges
You
yet.
do not have powers. All right, let's change that. Add as
only
moderator.
think
You get
of
to
is,
be managing moderator. You get the,
Ooh, sick.
yeah, you get
I'm gonna
the
share
fancy
my own.
toys.
I'm gonna share my own channel.
All right, Skogly's going to share his own channel. So if you want more of Skogly Jotun and not me, you definitely want to subscribe to Skogly's channel. He does game streams and
music.
That's right. I was forgetting one of the other things. So yeah, he's got video games and music. So if you don't want to follow my game content, please follow his. Whenever he gets the link in there.
All right, here's a link to a little bit of music from my channel, a little bit of guitar playing.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, an actual video from your channel, not just, oh yeah, here's my channel, click on it later. Nope. Okay.
Yeah, here's a little clip of me playing the guitar.
Exactly. There we go. So please check that out. Like Skogly's video, subscribe to his channel. Please continue to help. And of course, if you guys like this broadcast, please share it on all your socials. Please tell your friends. If you guys, there we go. We get a little bit of a music preview there. With Skogly's got an actual factual guitar that he plays on. Cause yeah,
I have a 7-string.
Nice. Yeah, I definitely need to get you down to Key West to meet some of my buddies down here. So yeah, what else? So next week we will be continuing our Invincible and For All Mankind discussions. Invincible Season 2, For All Mankind Season 4. If you're looking to catch up, you can catch Invincible on Amazon Prime or Apple TV respectively. Or if you live in Canada, there's apparently avenues that I cannot say or endorse myself. So yeah, Skogly can of course say and endorse those on his channel. That's his business, but yeah. We will also, I think we're going to go ahead and try and make an effort to catch Godzilla -1. So we can review that next week because everybody's hyping about it. Let's get on the hype train. Let's talk about something that most everybody's in agreement and enjoying because...
Let's talk about something that's good.
Let's talk about something that brings people together. Yeah. So yeah, we'll talk about that. And then of course for our Christmas, the following week, it'll be Violent Night and maybe a couple of others. I don't think we're ready to do Christmas Story again, but... yeah, we'll get it figured out. So, yes, I want to thank everybody for all of your guys' continued support, whether you are watching live all the way through, whether you are catching us on a replay, whether you're whenever you're watching us, we're happy to be here for you guys. as you can see, we managed to overcome our technical difficulties and still put something of a show out today. So yes, shout out to you, Watsmata. Have a good rest of your evening. The Nerdporial Lifeform, thank you for showing up and also volunteering to be a mod. H. Marie, of course. Kitty Flip. Wizard.
Captain Finity.
Yeah, Captain Finity with his popcorn. And of course, Lord Trinan with the pandas. And Maria with Teen Telly was here earlier before we started. You're probably finishing up this broadcast on a replay right now. Shout out to you. Good to see you.
Thank you so much.
But yeah, so 3 minutes left. So yeah, GTA 6. I really hope they don't do what they do. And well, actually no, I don't think GTA 5 had any limitations on where you could travel. So I think that mechanic in the game is over. Because yeah, the first thing I'm gonna do is play there'll probably be like a 30-minute intro cutscene of who the characters are and what they do and why they're important, and then it'll probably be an intro mission that takes place 30 years in the past or whatever, because that's part of the plot. And then after about 3 or 4 hours of cutscenes and about 20 minutes of gameplay, I'll finally be able to steal a car and, cruise down the whatever they end up calling the highway in the game. And it's going to be fun. I get to just basically, I mean, let's be honest. GTA 6 is just Florida Man, the video game. Like, come on. We know what this is going to be. Like I said, everything that's on there, if you thought that stuff in the trailer was crazy, just go hang out in Florida for a couple of days. Go hang out in Miami. Go hang out in Tampa Bay. Go hang out in Jacksonville. You want to see the weird Florida shit? Go to Jacksonville. Oh, I hear Orlando. That's another good place to see weird Florida. Or, excuse me, go to Key West. Key West is a lot of fun, too. And you'll see a lot of, not as crazy as, old woman standing there with the hammers. But it varies in its variety of crazy. It's I don't know. There's Florida, and then there's Key West, Florida. And it's like, there's so much difference between those two places. So yeah. Definitely a lot warmer than in Canada. So. Yeah. Just thanks again for watching. And, hope you guys come back next Tuesday. I'm Peter York, the Ryder Brothers. I'll probably see you after this broadcast. Good night. This has been a presentation of the Ryder Brothers Tuesday Night Live Show. The Ryder Brothers, restoring respect in the discourse.